DeCarlo has a very interesting comment that I would love to. We can make a whole segment of this. He said, "I personally like Ready to Die far more than Illmatic." What say you? Because I have a comment about that too, and I felt like that in my life before.
Where?
All right, well I'll start then because I already know where you stand. I think that
Where?
I think the Ready to Die is possibly better produced than Illmatic. I could
Where?
listen. No, I think when it
Where?
comes to the singles and Warning, um, Juicy, Big Papa, I think that how clean those records are, and I think Biggie's versatility kind of makes it sound like that as well. I think it's more rounded. I'll put it that way. I think that there could be an argument made that Ready to Die is a more rounded effort. But see, the thing that really hurts Ready to Die in this argument is the fact it's just One More Chance. It's that One More Chance remix was the one that was big, and it's not really on the original. If that One More Chance remix was on the original instead of the original One More Chance, we got a really good argument here. But the fact that Illmatic was put down in the way it was put down, it didn't need to be retouched. It didn't need to be remastered. It didn't need to be re-released. I think it gives it a leg up on Ready to Die as an album. Clearly, Nas is the better lyricist, but you could say that some of the things that Biggie was able to do on Ready to Die made his album more marketable. He had better singles. He had more radio friendly singles,
There we go.
and I
What
think
was
that
better
Biggie
about Ready to Die?
also. I think one thing that Biggie and Tupac are responsible for in a big way, they transitioned urban radio from R&B to hip hop. They are
Mhm.
the ones that did that. There were a few songs here and there where it was like, okay, this is possibly a crossover song, but the way that Biggie and Tupac were making music, just the formula of how they were able to integrate hip hop and R&B,
Well,
they
that's
are the
pop
ones
formula.
that transitioned urban radio over from R&B to hip hop.
Hold on, let's get. We got to clear a couple things up. First of all, that's really Pac, and that's Pac's formula.
I agree with you. Okay,
So we got to take that. Pac was there first.
I
Pac was
agree with
getting that
that.
notoriety first.
I agree with that.
Like Keep Your Head Up and I Get Around comes out a full year and a half before Ready to Die, if I'm not mistaken. So Pac was so Biggie's formula that he integrated that you're talking about is really Pac's formula. That was really at the core of Pac's issue. He felt like he had been done wrong, and it's like, but this nigga took my whole shit too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
in terms of make a record and make it playable to the masses and to the crowd. So that was the thing.
yeah. Because he
That
was
is the
selling
thing,
Biggie on that approach.
and Mike, and that is the thing that makes Ready to Die, and that's the only thing about Ready to Die that is better than Illmatic. Well, it's more marketable, and the singles are better and made for the masses. But Mike, the beats aren't better, and the rhymes aren't better, and the songs aren't as classic. Mike, is there a better beat than "The World Is Yours" on Ready to Die?
What is the best beat on Ready to Die? DeCarlo, tell me what you think the best produced track on Ready to Die
The
is.
beat on Ready to Die is unbelievable. Because "The World Is
I
Yours"
don't
is a
think
better
so.
beat than unbelievable.
I think The World Is Yours is a better beat than everything on Ready
Mike,
to Die.
New York State of Mind is actually a better beat than Unbelievable too.
I really liked Warning. I really liked I really liked Big Papa, honestly. Even though Q Tip
Did
found that loop first with the Bonita remix, but you didn't like Big Papa?
I liked it. I didn't love it the way everybody else. You know who I am, Mike. I was like listening to Warning and Everyday Struggle and the what.
K
You know,
Thompson says what I was gonna
King
say.
John Funk was my shit.
He said Illmatic aged better. Dre said the bars on Illmatic are better than Ready to Die. Man Nan says Tupac didn't make radio records early for the most part. Trap, Holla If You Hear Me, for example. What was Tupac's first radio record? Was it I Get Around?
As far as like regular spins, I would probably say yeah, because wasn't that the first single off his second album?
I'm with K Thompson. He said Everyday Struggle is the best beat on Ready to Die. I'm with that.
I'm with
Um, yeah,
that. Favorite record on Ready to Die.
I think it is too. Her
Mm-hmm.
tech got murdered in a town I never heard of. It's a bitch
Which is
named Alberta
Alberta,
over
the
nickel plated
nickel-plated
burner.
burners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
The thing
you
about
know
Ready
that,
to
Mike?
Die
How about this,
too.
Mike? That might be his best verse on there. That's not a top five verse on Illmatic. It's not a top 5 verse on Illmatic. His best verse on Ready to Die is not a top 5 verse on Illmatic. So when you're saying it's not the same lyrically, it's like, no, it's not even like the same level yet.
DeCarlo said
the level that Nas is on Illmatic, Big doesn't get to that level until a year or so later.
DeCarlo said the best produced track on Ready to Die, he would say, is Warning or Things Then Changed.
Okay, Warning's is a whole, like, they just freaked the sample. So it's like, I'm not even going to count Warning as the best beat. That's what I'm saying. It's like...
What did you think about the beat, the what?
Mike, I told you, when Ready to Die came out, I'm listening to Everyday Struggle, Unbelievable, The What, Machine Gun Funk, Warning. You want to know what record is really slept on Ready to Die, Mike? The record Ready to Die.
Oh, yeah, that's a great record. The one song that I really didn't like on Ready to Die was Respect.
I like Respect. I don't love it. I used to love it more when I was younger. It didn't age as well.
Yeah. So yeah. I think Illmatic actually aged better, but you know what Biggie said. What was that right before the?
Not fair.
What Biggie said right before the '95 Source Awards. He said that Nas got Lyricist of the Year, but I think I should get Album of the Year for Ready to Die. Well, he ended up getting both, but Biggie, that is. But he already conceded the fact that Nas was the better lyricist on Illmatic, but I can see how somebody could feel like Ready to Die is just a more rounded effort, but I think time has been a lot more kind to Illmatic. And I think that also Illmatic sounds like it was produced and conceived in one time period. Even with Halftime. Halftime's probably the one song that's just older, but yeah, you could tell the stuff on Ready to Die that was pre-Bad Boy. There was Uptown and the Bad Boy. You know what I mean? You could tell that it was recorded over courses of time.
No, you could. You could hear the difference. You can hear separation in the engineering mostly.
I think that hurts a record, man. I think that hurts an album altogether. Like, what was that? The Carter 4? Or was it 5? Carter 5 from Wayne. You could tell that album was recorded over all types of periods of time. I feel like in recording an album, especially a hip hop album, you got to record these things within a 5 to 6 window of time. And that's so crazy to say because styles and times just change so quickly in this culture. You make the best efforts when you go in there and knock these shits out as quick as you can. Now, you want to be as meticulous as you can, but you want to go in there and do a Daytona. Daytona sounds like it was created in a few sessions over a week's period of time. That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay, so, I'm going to say something, Mike, and this is something that I think a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to classic rap albums.
Mm-hmm.
Part of what makes a rap album classic and timeless is when the artist doesn't make themselves too current with the subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
They make themselves current with the style and the sound.
Right.
Your greatest rap albums, Mike, they have a feeling and a theme that lets you know what time and era it exists in, but they're currently not talking about the time. They're timeless themes on there.
Yeah.
Life's a Bitch, The World Is Yours, Memory Lane, New York State of Mind, and timeless, Mike.
Yeah.
All the rap, Mike, you don't know what year Doggy Style got made. You can't tell, really. Like, you can tell the era. It's like that could have been 92, 93, 90, but he's not giving anything in specific reference that lets you know that it's late 93.
Well, the Chronic does that, right, with the LA riots, and the Chronic actually celebrating his 29th birthday today.
I can remember when it came out.
What's your favorite song on the Chronic?
Favorite?
Yeah.
Little Ghetto Boy.
I think that's the X Factor song on there, definitely.
Gravitate to the stuff that you relate to. That's the record on the album that I related to the most.
That's a dope ass song, man. I still like Let Me Ride, man. But yeah, I'm with you on Little Ghetto Boy. That's
I can remember hearing all those records like out the window, like on Memorial Drive that year. Like I can remember, like I'd be waking up and like they'd be playing Let Me Ride or These Nuts or Little Ghetto Boy.
When Dre Day hits, that shit hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit hits, man. But yeah. I agree with you. I think that, Q-Tip and Large Professor or whatever, they say the best, where it's like you want to make your stuff timeless in a way where you're not shouting out the year. You know what I'm saying? You're not shouting out what's going on right now. Like, I think that a lot of artists, or a lot of hip hop artists in the '90s, got caught up in doing some of those things. Like you listen to Soul Food, it'll be like, "Fuck Chris Darden, fuck Marshall Clark," stuff like that. And I
Right.
think the Goody Mob, I love what Goody Mob was doing with it, where they would talk about politicians in Atlanta at that time.
Oh,
It dates your material, but there's a way to do it in a way where that it applies to everybody and any time period. And somehow Nas knew that in Illmatic, and there's nothing that he says on there that dates that. I'm trying to think. There's nothing on that album that dates that. Like he doesn't sit there and talk about, you know, what was, individuals that were popping in '94, right? With a metaphor that just sticks to '94, or even does something that you're like, oh, that's old technology or something.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he said tape deck or something like that. People might not know what that is, but that's different.
He said something about eating tapes on New York State of Mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
so I get it, but those I like. There's going to be moments like that, but I'm just talking about where it just feels like it's like, okay, he made this in '98. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The day
It's just
niggas took over, lyrical gangbanger. That's a lot of great records on the Chronic, man. I mean, I think the Chronic and Doggy Style are like
See,
they're
but this
so
is what I mean.
close.
So, Mike, the Chronic only dates itself on one record, though. The rest of it is timeless themes.
Oh yeah,
The Day the Niggas Took Over is the only thing that lets you know what year and what time it is. Everything else, it's like you could just put nothing but a G thing on it. It's like, what year come out? I don't know, 91, 94, 95, 96. I don't know, because it has that feel.
oh yeah. He did mention a beeper too. Thanks, K. Thompson.